I think there comes a point in every single person's life where there's something you want to do in life or something you want to go for that you've kind of shoved to the back of your mind because the reality where you actually go for whatever that goal, dream, or aspiration is, it scares you, which actually is a good thing, believe it or not. Like, your dreams and goals should scare you. Like, that fear you feel should have a bit of a mix of excitement in there somewhere. And I guess if you're watching this, if you click this video, which you obviously did, then you can kind of take this as a sign. Whatever that dream, goal, or aspiration that you've pushed to the back of your mind, go back and get it. Cause not to be all morbid or black pill, we all got the same destination in life anyways. The game is gonna end eventually, so why hold on to your chips? You might as well go all in at some point. And for a lot of guys, right, we can be dumb sometimes, and they say that there's only two ways to learn. There's the hard way and the harder way. A famous wise man once said the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. Albert Einstein. Now, if you're smart, right, you're going to learn the hard way. You know, you'll mess up and then you'll learn and you'll adjust and you'll pivot along the way. But if you're kind of dumb, right, like me, which I'm sure some of you guys are, for us, right, we mess up and then we do the same thing over and over and over and over and over again until the consequences are so dire where you're literally forced to make a pivot. And this is where a lot of the times we conflate our desires for wanting something versus needing something. It's like you feel like you need something, but in reality, you only kind of want it. It's like, do you need to get straight A's to get into a certain school for a career you want? Or do you just kind of want straight A's so you can finally get a hug from mommy and daddy and for them to tell you how smart you are? It's like, do you need to start a YouTube channel because you feel like you have a purpose or a message you want to put out there? Maybe you want to inspire, uplift, motivate, educate, bring some sort of understanding or being able to relate to people. You want to get a message out there, you want to have a voice, you want to have impact, you want to create. Or do you just kind of want to start a YouTube channel because you want to obtain money, fame, or to live a certain lifestyle that you see? Like, do you need to become an athlete? Is it a burning desire for your life and something you feel like you were called to do? Is that sport your life? Or do you just kind of want to be an athlete because the idea of getting paid to put a ball through a net appeals to you? If what you desire is a burning need as opposed to just a want, then eventually you're going to reach that tipping point. You're going to realize that your time is now and that you're going to have to start taking action. Whatever fear has been holding you back up until this point won't overshadow what you have if what you have is a need. But if what you have is only a half-hearted want, then you're going to give up somewhere along the way. You're going to try it, it's going to be hard, and then you're going to quit. You're going to find out that the juice isn't worth the squeeze and you're going to end up quitting. The difference is a need is from a deeper sense of purpose or a calling from God, where you literally can't picture yourself not doing whatever that thing is. And if it's only a want, it comes from superficial desires like greed, validation, lust, etc. Like, some people say that they're discontent or unhappy with their current situation. It's uncomfortable. But it's like, how uncomfortable can it really be if you're not moving, if you're just staying still, if you're just accepting your current situations? For example, let's say you were standing on coal, right? What are you gonna do? You're naturally going to move, right? Because it burns. It's uncomfortable to be standing on coal, let alone for an extended period of time. Just by natural instincts, you're going to have to move. You're going to need to move. But if you're just saying that it's uncomfortable, but you're still standing still, then how uncomfortable can it really be for you? You've kind of just accepted your current circumstances standing on coal, where it's not good enough where you're happy, but it's not bad enough where you have to move. And everybody gets to that point where they have to make a decision, where they either accept their current situations or they're forced to make a move. I remember the very first on-camera video that I recorded. It was during the pandemic, which was very real, by the way. Okay? But it was on a Saturday night. It was like 3 a.m. and for whatever reason, I couldn't sleep. And it was something that I kind of put off for a really long time because I knew eventually you were going to have to show your face. If you want to have impact, if you want to have a voice, if you want to create a brand, if you want to have a message you want to put out there, you're going to have to show your face. And I knew that it was going to be uncomfortable. Like, even now, I'm still not like 100% comfortable with doing this. But I kept saying that I was going to do it the next video. But for whatever reason, and I'll never forget this moment, I was laying in the bed, just looking up at the ceiling, not being able to sleep. I was laying in bed, staring at the ceiling, thinking, if I don't do this now, I'm never going to do this. I've said this before, but your most honest thoughts and feelings come to you when you're completely by yourself, most likely before you go to sleep or when you're in bed or when you're in the shower. Those are the moments where your most honest thoughts and feelings about life and what you want to do come to you. And I was having one of those moments where I was like, yo, you're never going to feel like it. Even though that's what you're waiting for, you're just putting it off. You're just procrastinating. And I just got up from bed at 3 a.m. I set up my tripod, my camera, and I just started making the video. I think it was either a video on celebrities or stop caring about what people think. But it was my first on-camera video, and bro, it was so uncomfortable. Bro, I turned on the camera, this camera right here, and then also that ring light, and I was like a deer in headlights. Especially as a natural introvert, like this is a tough barrier to get through. And you also do need a certain level of audacity to record yourself talking about, life topics or whatever. That's why I always speak from a perspective of what I learned. That's how I always frame it. That's why I use personal stories, so that it's a little bit less like audacious. But it felt good to finally do this thing that I've been putting off for a really long time. But at the same time, I also did not want to do it again. Like, okay, there's one down, you're on to the next. And it definitely takes a while to get used to. Even now, I'm still not used to it. But it felt like I broke through this barrier, and that was essentially the tipping point for me, where I kind of just had this moment of existential, like whatever, just laying in bed. Like if I don't do it now, I'm never going to do it. I'm never going to start type of moment. And that's the point, right? You get to this point, this tipping point, where you're sick of watching on the sidelines, watching your own life go by you. And you either finally take action or you give up and you settle and accept the reality that you currently have. And then, do certain things to cope forever. And I think a lot of people can relate to this feeling. Maybe that's you right now. But you gotta get to that point where you're so sick of watching, especially in the era of like social media, right? And some people might have mixed thoughts about this, but I'm gonna be honest. But there's a lot of dumb people. There's a lot of shitty people that have attained a level of wealth that most people will never touch. But there's a hole in the system that the internet has created. Whatever you want to do, whatever your goals are in life, there's some way where you can leverage the internet or social media to your benefit, to your success. As a matter of fact, it would be dumb not to. But it should make you mad that there are some people with the IQ of a Tic Tac on social media making M's while you're struggling. The fact that there's some OnlyFans chick selling bath water and feet pictures and getting her back blown out and posting it on the internet and making M's. If nothing else, it should tell you that there's a hole in the system, there's a glitch in the matrix. And again, it's not even about the money, it's not even about the lifestyle, it's about the pure fact that there are people that aren't better than you in any other way, that are pulling everything they want out of life while you have to sit on the sidelines and watch. If nothing else, that should force you to move when you reach that tipping point. And I guess right now I'm trying to speak to that one person out there that's going to make that pivot, that's at that tipping point, that currently relates to that feeling of being on the sidelines and feeling like you're just watching life pass by you. If I can just have one person make that pivot, to me that would be like the coolest thing ever. Like f everything else, f the views, f the subs, f the money. Okay, I shouldn't say that last part, cut that. But if there's one person that I'm talking to out there, I know that sometimes there are people around you that might hold you back, even people that are supposed to be the ones to uplift you. They're the ones driving that fear and whispering doubt in your ear. Because a lot of the times it can be people close to you. But I'm telling you right now that your time is now. Take this as a sign. If you have a dream, if you have a goal, if you have an aspiration that you pushed in the back of your mind because the reality of where you go for that thing is too scary to you, I'm telling you right now to go for it. And I'm not anybody special, right? I'm a nobody. I'll forever be a nobody other than a son of God, a believer in Christ. But if you're hearing this right now, especially at the end of the video, go for it, genuinely. Once you start taking steps, everybody can relate to this. Everybody wishes they would have started sooner. That's like the most common thing. Your time is now. God is calling you. Anyways, hopefully you got something from that. Bit of motivation. If you made it to the end, which you obviously did, take it as a sign. You got it. I believe in you. Thank you for listening. I love you. I appreciate you. With that said, make sure you stay true, and I'll talk to you real soon. Peace.